Hi, everybody. It's Angela de Souza here with Fanny Snaith. Sorry, Fanny.
Right.
And we're going to pick up with Money Monday. If you had a watch of our last program, it was so exciting. We just got so carried away because Fanny's so interesting and has so much to teach us about money. And so we really got carried away and stuck into it, so much so that we had to invite her back for a part two so that we could pick up the conversation. So in our last session, we had a look at money mapping. We had a look at how everybody, in fact, I quote, we can all be wealthy and can all have a solid financial future, is what Fanny told us. And she told us that this is not hard, that this is actually achievable and possible for all of us. And she told us that there's plenty of money in the world, that we can all have a piece of it. So there's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of ability for us to be able to be wealthy and financially free. So it's amazing. And she even shared some statistics with us, and it's just absolutely exciting. So if you didn't see Money Monday a couple of weeks ago, because we had a bank holiday in between, go back in the news feed on our page and just have a look at part one, because it really does open your eyes and give you a good starting point. And then today's session, we're going to pick up from there, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper with Fanny. So thank you so much for coming back and joining us today, Fanny. So today I was thinking, first of all, of just picking up on the fact that last time you offered us a free spreadsheet where we could start working on our money map. So thank you so much for that. I've had a look at it, and it is really in-depth, very thorough, but also very easy to use and not scary. So if you didn't get your spreadsheet from Fanny, then if you just put your name in the comments, then Fanny will get in touch and send you your money map so you can get started on your financial freedom journey. So today we wanted to have a look at some of the things that we touched on last time. And one of them was how we can actually change our perception of normal when it comes to money. And so many times we perceive something to be normal and acceptable because that's what everybody's doing, when actually it may not be the best thing in terms of money. And we can change our perception of normal. So Fanny, let's pick up from there. How can we work on our money mindset?
Okay, so it's really interesting to say that because I've just had a coaching session with a client where I have this morning transformed his view of normality into something completely different. So, but it's actually on a really physical, practical level. So sometimes by becoming really clear with your finances, that actually has a knock-on effect that changes your money, changes your mindset towards money. So let me give you this example. So this person has around £12,000 worth of debts. And as far as he was concerned, he had he's got a target in his head that he wanted to pay those debts off within 5 years. So I said, okay, that's fine. So he listed the debts for me and listed them for himself, by the way, which was the first step for him. And he said, oh my God, I listed the debts, and it looked actually even more scary than I thought it was going to be. So we need three things here. We need the amount of the debt, we need the minimum payment that needs to be paid every month, and we need the interest rate. Once we have those three pieces of information, we can do amazing things. So I have another magic spreadsheet, which is called the Snowball Debt Destroyer. And it's called the Snowball Debt Destroyer. And it's not something that I invented myself, but I've just sort of tweaked it to make it easier for people to understand. But it's a way of paying off debts that takes you out of the normal. So what I'm doing is I'm partnering something that's really practical, but also showing as to how it can change your mindset too. Yeah. So he came into the coaching session this morning thinking that he would pay off his debts within 5 years. I have used his figures and his way of the information that he's given me, and I have shown him that he can pay this debt off in 14 months.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
By
I'm
just
so happy.
by looking at things in a little bit of a different way. So that's one way that you can change your mindset. You see, we get stuck in the negative ways of, oh, I've got a debt. Oh, it's a nightmare. Oh, it's going to be so hard. Oh, it's going to be so difficult. Well, I'll just have to do it, and I'll just have to stick with it until it's done. No, let's try and change this and think, hang on a minute, what are all the positive things that I can do to change this? So can I reduce the interest rate? Can I switch it to an interest-free card? Can I change suppliers on my gas, electricity, can I ask them to freeze the account so that I don't pay any interest on it at all? But those first thoughts need to come from your mind. So rather than it's going back to just not accepting the normality, it's actually taking a step out. So that's one way that you can change your mindset, is to put yourself into a position of question everything. Don't take anything as just, oh, well, that's it. I don't think that I talked about it last time, but one thing that's just so important when it comes to credit card debt, which so many of us have, is that the golden rule with credit card, and this can be quite life-changing for a lot of people, is to never, ever, ever, ever pay the minimum payment.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's some facts and figures again. Let's say you have a debt of £2,740. Now, the reason I picked that £2,740 is because this is the example that they use on the moneysavingexpert.com website. So you can go back and have a look at it. And it was, at the time, it was about the average credit card debt per family in the country. Now, most credit card interest rates are around 18%. If you were to pay the minimum payment, which I believe would be around £60 per month, if you just literally paid £60 on the first month, and it would go down a little bit the next month, down a little bit the next, so all you did is you didn't spend on the card, but you just paid the minimum payment. That would take you 29 years and 6 months to pay off. Okay, and you would pay 3,750 odd quid in interest, which is obviously more than the debt itself.
Yes.
Let's say you were to up your monthly payment to £100 a month, so 40 quid extra. Probably sounds a bit tight, but if you were to do that, it would take you 3 years to pay off.
That's an amazing difference, eh?
And it would cost you about 780 quid in interest on top of the debt.
People just don't know that they don't know.
That's
so
right.
People struggle along, trying to do their best, thinking, okay, if I just make the minimum payment, at least I'm not getting behind. That's a mindset, isn't it? I suppose, within itself.
But this is it.
But if you don't know that you don't know, I guess that's why we need a money coach. That's why we need someone like you who can help us with the things that we don't know.
Well, this is it. But, that's why my message is to everybody, money coach or no money coach, question everything.
Yes.
Don't take things as read, oh, this is what it is, I mean, clearly there are some bills that you have to, you're sort of like council tax. You can't film and go, actually, I don't think I want to pay all of this council. Wouldn't it be lovely if you could do that? But you can say, if you come in arrears and they're charging you interest, you can say, look, I really want to pay you your money, but I don't want to pay the interest, because all it's going to do is just hold me up. And you'd be amazed as to what deals you can get. So,
even with council tax, to be honest, because my husband studied a while ago and he informed them, and they slashed his council tax because he was a student. So
yeah. So as far as I'm trying to find my little mindset card. Neil, have you got my little mindset card you could give me? So I'm just getting some little cards printed, which is my daily routine of what I say to myself. And this is all.
Daniel.
That's Neil. Yeah, he's there. Sorry, husband's in the back. So I have one of these. Okay, you won't be able to read it, but can I take 2 minutes to read it to you?
Please, yes.
So this is what Neil and I do every morning. We say to ourselves, and this is about mindset, the universe is abundant. The universe wants me to flourish and prosper. All prosperity begins with belief. Money is a belief system. Money is energy and will appear as you really feel about it. Money has no intelligence of its own. Money will respond to the instructions that I give it. Money demands attention. I step into my personal power with money. My income is consistently increasing and I prosper wherever I turn.
Wow.
Now,
very interesting.
So many people, I'm sure, especially in the women's business group, have heard of the law of attraction. I'm a big fan of the law of attraction. The reason why I'm a big fan of the law of attraction is because I know that it works. I'm getting better at it. I wouldn't say I'm a master at it yet, but I really believe that what you focus on is what you get. So if I focus on this on a daily basis, this is positive. This is positive stuff, right? If I was to focus, if I was to wake up in the morning and go, oh God, I feel awful today. Oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got these bills to pay, and I'm not getting enough money in from my business. I haven't got enough clients. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. We have a question in from Jordan. She says, in terms of credit card debt, is it better to consolidate the debts or leave it spread across different accounts?
So that's a brilliant question, Jordan. Are you talking? I think she's talking about actually going to a debt consolidation agency. The answer to that question is it really depends where you go, and you need to work the deal out very, very carefully. Debt consolidation can be fantastic for some people, in the fact that what it does is, if they're finding it confusing and overwhelming, what they'll do is they put all the debts together and then give you a single fee that you pay every month. Now, the interesting part of it is to work out, of that single fee that you're given every month by the debt consolidation agency, how much are they making from it? Or are you, because they're not going to be sitting there for free. They're offering a service, and it's very unlikely that it's going to be free. If you were to use my Snowball Debt Destroyer, and there are other ones online as well, and again, I'm happy to give it to the viewers today, you can actually work that out for yourself. So what tends to happen is when you put the debts into this Snowball Debt Destroyer, it will come up. It basically, you're saying to yourself, I am going to pay, or I'm going to put this amount of money every month to my debts consistently. It's never going to go up, and it's never going to go down until they're all paid off. So that's why it's called a snowball. So what happens is you throw all the money at the most expensive debt first, and then that gets cleared, and then you take that, and it's like a snowball, and it keeps rolling, and then that goes on to the next debt, and then then goes down quite fast, because obviously you've got the money that you were paying on that debt along with that debt, and then that one gets paid off, and so it goes on. So anybody that is thinking about consolidating their debts, I would ask you to contact me, and I'm quite happy to give you this Snowball Debt Destroyer. Just try it and see if it works for you first, because I do think that you can do it on a cheaper level. However, if you're in a situation whereby the amount every month exceeds what you can afford to pay, that's when consolidation comes into its own. Because what they do is they can spread it over a much longer time at less amount of money every month. But be aware that on the whole, you will be paying more.
Okay.
But it solves the problem of thinking, but I just can't afford to pay that amount of money every month to get it down. Okay, she said, I was thinking about the effect of transferring all credit card debts to one account, to one credit card rather than several. So my banker offered to chuck my credit cards into an account with my PL, personal loan. So everything was in one place. But I love the Snowball Debt Destroyer. The Snowball Debt Destroyer, Mom, you shall have. But again, Jordan, it's working it out. It's actually sitting down and thinking, well, so when your bank's saying they could put it all into one place, what's the interest rate? How long have they given you to pay it off for? Could there be another part of it that you may have one credit card that you can switch to a 0%? Mm-hmm. You can switch it using the credit card club, the credit club from Martin Lewis, Money Saving Expert, which is brilliant. Did I mention that last time?
No, please tell us about that.
So the wonderful Martin Lewis, on his Money Saving Expert, he has 2 clubs, both very much worth being a part of. The first one is called the Credit Club, and you pop in all your details there, and then you get a free credit report every month sent direct to your inbox. In fact, you get 2. You get one from Experian and one from a company called Noddle, which is good. There are 3 main credit check agencies, and those are the two of the main ones, which is really good. And you get that for free every month. But it then opens up the possibility of switching credit cards to a lower or indeed 0 interest rate, which of course is amazing, because that will then give you the chance to sort of put that one on hold when you can throw a bit more money at the one that's more expensive. So Jordan, for you, it could be that the bank's going, give me all your debt. You've got to remember that the bank is asking you for your debt to make themselves money.
Yes.
Okay? That their aim is, I'm sorry to say this, but their aim is not to help you really, it's to earn themselves more money. So this is where we get our warrior boots on our archetypes, and we get strong, and we go, no, actually, I'm going to question that. I'm going to question that, and I'm going to have the question of, I wonder if I can get some of my debt on 0%. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then maybe I could give some to the bank then, if it is going to serve me.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's another part of mindset, is that a lot of people think that the banks are there to help them. I'm really sorry, but they're not. They're a business. They're there to make money. And the reason that they set the minimum payment on the credit card to what it is to earn themselves as much money as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Simple fact.
Yes, it's so true. And it's quite scary if you think of it that way. So again, we need to be thinking for ourselves, don't we? We can't, I think it's important that we look at various different sources. We watch the show today, we go to the Money Saving Expert, we talk to our bank manager, and then we make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about your Snowball Debt. What's it called?
Snowball Debt Destroyer.
Oh, I love that title, Snowball Debt Destroyer. I think we all need to get that.
It's great.
I'm going to put it up here.
It's really easy to use. I mean, it's not penny perfect, but it's pretty damn close. I usually say well, however many months it says to pay off all your debts, just add 1 month to it, and then you'll be right.
Yeah.
I was going to say actually about Martin Lewis's second club, because I didn't mention that one, did I? Which is the Energy Club. And what you do is you get in front of you your gas bill and your electricity bill. So you print it out on the current people that you're with now, whether you're on dual fuel or however. So you just have them in front of you, and then join the Energy Club, and you put in your current provider for electricity, current provider for gas, and then it will tell you if there are any deals that are cheaper than the one that you're on now, and it enables you to switch from that screen. And also, what the really good thing is, you can set it on a limit, and you can say, well, if you think that there's a deal coming up that can save me, say, £150 a year or £100 a year, can you email me, please? And
That's amazing. So they keep you informed.
That's it. It's really good.
Veronica, you can get your Snowball Debt Destroyer. It will be on its way from Fanny. Guys, I love that you are engaging and asking questions. Please feel free to ask questions. You know, that's why we want to help you get financially free. So, oh gosh, I've lost track now. I think we're very much on the debt conversation today. So I think we should stick with it and talk about all we can about debt, and we can pick up again on the mindset theme next time. But so is there anything else you would say around the whole debt theme? Because it's really been strong today, and I think people do need help with it. As you said, how many billions did you say we're in debt every day?
Well, we pay 139 million pounds a day on credit card interest in this country.
So we need
personal debt interest.
Tackle this. We do need to tackle this. So, ladies, if you have any questions, any further questions specifically about debt, please do pop them in the comments, and we will bring them to Fanny's attention, and she can answer your questions live. If you're watching this on replay, don't worry, you can still pop your questions in the comments box. And we will get back to you. We'll make sure that we can help you as best we can, especially around the subject of debt today.
I know something I would quite like to talk about as far as debt is concerned. Let's talk about good debt versus bad debt, because this is something that's really important. So I hear people saying, I just want to pay off my mortgage. I just want to pay off my mortgage. When I'm mortgage free, everything will be fine. I completely understand that. I do understand that. However, there is a yes, but on this. If you have credit card debt and you have a mortgage, which they're two good comparisons.
Yes.
What we need to do is we need to look at these debts separately. The money that you have on your mortgage is likely to be, I hope it's less, easily less than 5%, easily less. You'd all need to review your mortgages quite regularly, by the way, people, because it's you'd be amazed that they are fantastic deals that you can get out there. But let's say, for instance, you've got a mortgage and you're paying, let's say, 4%, and you've got another 20 years on your mortgage to go, and you're thinking, oh, but the mortgage payments every month. Two different types of mortgage payment. There's interest only and repayment. On the interest only, all you're doing is you're paying the interest, and at the end of the loan period, you will need to pay back all of the money that you borrowed to the mortgage company. So if you can avoid an interest only mortgage, all the better. Yes. Because that actually is, it's fine on something like a rental property, but if it's in the property that you own, on the home that you own, that's not such a good debt to have. However, if you're on a repayment mortgage, which means that yes, you're paying interest every month, but you're also chipping away at the loan every month as well. And if it's only on 4%, it's actually not a bad debt to have, for two reasons. One, you would be much, much better off to chuck payments at your credit card, which is probably charging you 18 to 20%. I saw one credit card recently, Vanquish it's called, that's charging 39.9% on a credit card. I mean, that is wicked.
But I think it's the people who take advantage of people with poor credit rating. They offer them these credit cards, even though they have poor credit rating, but then they charge that extortionate interest.
It is. It's ridiculous. So rather than focusing your attention on the mortgage, remember as well, we also have something called inflation, which means that inflation is, I think, at about 2.7% right now. I think it's just gone down a little bit. But that means that essentially what you owe for your mortgage, as inflation is at 2.6%, your debt is actually getting smaller over time. But at the moment, interest rates are so low that mortgages are actually quite cheap. So if you have any other debts at all that are charging more interest than your mortgage, pay those off first. Focus on those first. Very important. And also, if you've got savings, that are in a savings account that are earning a pitiful amount of interest, either change them into a higher interest account, or maybe throw that money at the debts that you have, if you're able to. Although keep some back for emergencies, just big emergencies that come up.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Jordan. Any thoughts on companies I like these things that come up, they look great. Any thoughts on companies like PayPlan and other free services? Is it better to pay for these services? I have to confess to you, Jordan, I don't know what PayPlan is, but I'm thinking, is it a way that you pay off debts? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I can't answer that one. I'll go and find out what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, I'll have a quick look. It comes up quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what PayPlan is. So
PayPlan offers free debt management and plans and other solutions for people facing financial difficulties to get back on track with debt help by expert advisors. That's what it says on the internet. So something to look into, I suppose. If you haven't heard of it, you can't comment on it, but that's essentially what it is.
Just keep in your head, question everything. But when something comes up like PayPlan or any of the other debt consolidation agencies, fine, talk to them, but just do your homework, really.
Yes. And also, I think if you look on the Money Saving Experts website, you can ask other people what their experience has been with these things. And that can be really useful as well. I've often gone there and learned quite a lot about people who have actually used it and what they found has worked or not worked. So
there's so much information out there now.
Yeah. So Jordan just said they really have mixed reviews. So that's what she's saying. So Jordan, I think this is something that Fanny can't comment on at this point, but certainly we can get back to you because we haven't heard of it. But it's a good question, because I imagine others will have that question. So it's definitely something that we will get a response on and get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I have to be very, very careful of is I'm not a financial advisor. Yes. So I'm not actually allowed to give proper financial advice on products and services. But with any product or any service, just do your homework, really, and just look at 3 and pick one, or whichever way. But just try and get the best option for you by asking as many questions as you can. How much is it going to cost me? How long is it going to take me? What would happen if I paid it off over a shorter period of time? Am I able to pay it off over a shorter period of time? If I do manage to have the money, am I going to be locked into a deal that isn't going to serve me? All those kind of questions.
Okay, so let's wrap it up, because we kicked off with there's another question. Okay, I think we will look at one more question, but if we were to wrap it up, we kicked off with the theme was supposed to be changing our mindset, but we've only managed to address debt. So what would your top tip be on changing our mindset towards debt?
Changing mindset towards debt is definitely and again, this is probably going back to the archetypes. So maybe that's what we should cover next time, is actually tip on the archetypes. Yeah, touch on the archetypes. When it comes to debt, it's very, very easy to fall into victim mode, right? And this is not a criticism of anybody. It's really, debt's quite heavy, and it can really make people feel overwhelmed. The thing about debt is to be strong with it. Try and be strong, and think of yourself as a warrior, and get a pen and paper in front of you. Write the debts down. Get the picture clear. Those 3 pieces of information per debt. What's the outstanding balance? What's the outstanding balance? What's the interest rate? And what's the minimum payment? Stick them into the Snowball Debt Destroyer, which again, I said I'm more than happy to give you. And then just come up with some questions. How can I make these debts work really well, work better for me? Think, I am going to have control. I am not going to be put down or made to feel small by the people I owe money to. Just bite the bullet and go for it. Actually, while I'm at it, there's a brilliant video on, there used to be, I'm not sure if it's still there anymore, of Martin Lewis. and he shows how to balance debts using test tubes in liquid. It's a really clever idea. So looking at, well, this one's charging 20% and this one's only charging 5%. So if I can fill that one up, and so that one's only paying 5% and this one's got, right, you know, it shows you how to balance the interest rates a bit better. So it's quite, I'll try and find the link for it and put it in the group, actually.
That'll be great. Thank you.
But mindset and debt, be strong, be in control, and ask questions. Just ask lots and lots of questions.
So be strong and be in control.
And ask and just question. Don't just take stuff as read, because you can manipulate these people. Just, you know, even if you phone it, I can't afford to pay your debt right now. What can you do to help me?
Yes.
There you go. There's an opening question. What do you mean? Well, I'm having a really difficult time paying this debt at the moment, and I know that you want your money back, and I want to pay you your money back. How can you help me?
Yes. Put the ball in their court, and they will. They will.
Not everybody will, but some will.
Okay, Veronica has a final question, and do you have any thoughts? I know you won't be able to give an in-depth answer, but just a final thought on her question.
Any advice for self-employed people, as I've seen things change recently in seeking advice on debt? I'm not really sure exactly what you're pointing to. Any advice for self-employed people? I've seen things change recently in seeking advice on debt. I'm not really sure what you mean with that, Veronica. Feel free to PM me if you want me to ask me a question. So I'm not absolutely sure what you're asking about. But I mean, I'm a self-employed person. I mean, as far as the debts are concerned and just paying things off, I would say the same rules apply to all. Be strong, ask questions, put your warrior boots on, and do the best you can.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. I think you're going to be bombarded with questions after this, Fanny. It's just such an important subject, and I love the idea that we could just get in control of this and, you know, not feel intimidated because the people that we owe money to can feel intimidating, but actually we can be in control, and I love that. So thank you so much for your time today, and there will be opportunities for you to ask more questions, get in touch with Fanny directly. We'll make sure there's all the links in the comments box, and we're definitely going to continue this series for a lot longer. We'll pick it up next week because there's so much more to talk about. But have a fantastic Monday, and we will see you again on this particular subject next Monday. Thanks, Fanny, for your time. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.